Hell's Kitchen Season 22 Episode 9 Review. Tonight's episode was definitely the best episode for the season. We're one step closer to getting to the Black Jacket round, and for this review, I'll unpack tonight's episode, and I'll share my predictions for who I think will make it to the Black Jacket round. So without any further delay, let's jump right in. At the start of the episode, Otoy comes back to the group, and she's very emotional after having survived another elimination round. Her team is there to comfort her, and they seem happy that she's back. But deep down, I'm thinking that all of the Team Red members, except Danya, want her gone from the team. But during the earlier part of the episode, we also get a scene of Sandra wearing a wig and a muumuu while calling herself Gladys. To me, the scene came off as a filler scene. But if Sandra ever wants a backup career, she should definitely avoid comedy. But at the beginning of the first challenge, Gordon has Otoy join the blue team so that the teams could be even. This is the first time Gordon has mixed the teams up for the season, and after the hiccup that happened with Otoy and the red team on the last episode, Otoy definitely needed a change in scenery. Now tonight's episode challenge was an interesting one. Gordon gives each team $100 to shop with, and the teams are tasked with buying food for everybody to cook with and create an elevated dish that can be sold at a highest price point. Now the strategies for both teams were very different in this challenge. The red team has 3 chefs that buy steak, 1 that buys a pork chop, and 1 that buys a salmon to cook with for their respective dishes. While the blue team has 1 chef that buys a steak, 1 chef that buys a pork chop, 1 that buys a chicken thigh, 1 that buys scallops, and 1 that buys rainbow trout. So right off rip, it seems like the blue team saved their money on their proteins while having extra money to spend on their sides. And I would say that the MVPs for this challenge have to be Otoy and Jonathan. Otoy had the foresight to transform a simple chicken thigh dish into a $32 price point, while Jonathan earned the highest price point for his pork chop dish. The only disappointing performances for this challenge came from Danya and Carmen in my opinion. Danya let the competition get the best of her, and she served a mediocre steak dish, while Carmen also served a mediocre steak dish, which decided the fate of the team. The blue team won the challenge, and we finally get to see Otoy start to really bond with her new team. Tonight's episode has got to be the happiest that I've seen Otoy be in during the course of the season. But then we go to dinner service, and this was definitely the best dinner service for this season of Hell's Kitchen. Both teams were nearly flawless until it came down to the final 3 tickets for each team. Both teams were told by Gordon that whoever finished first would win dinner service. So naturally, this is when mistakes start to happen, and which set both teams back. However, the red team lost the challenge because of Danya's decision to pre-cook a Wellington and Carmen's decision to serve a reheated Wellington to Gordon without checking the temperature first. So because the red team lost, they were tasked with coming up with 2 names for elimination. It seems like Danya really didn't fight for herself during the elimination process, and it also seemed like the team was gunning for Sandra, even though Sandra had a really good dinner service tonight. In my opinion, Danya and Carmen should have been up for elimination tonight. But we get to elimination, and both Sandra and Danya were asked which chefs on their team are the weakest. Danya hesitates to answer before finally giving an answer, and Sandra told Gordon that she was actually the weakest. If there's one thing that you don't do in Hell's Kitchen, it's tell Gordon that you are the weakest chef on the team, because it makes Gordon's job that much easier. And like that, we're down to the last 9 chefs, and it's becoming pretty clear which of the remaining cast members are chefs and which are simple cooks. But when it comes to my picks for the Black Jacket round, I think that they largely remain the same from last week, which are Sammy, Demir, Ryan, Jonathan, and Lee. It's pretty clear that Otoy is working on borrowed time right now. It's also clear that Carmen has an alliance with Sammy and Lee, but she is low-hanging fruit, and she's been skating over for the past few weeks. And in my opinion, Jason is still too inconsistent to make it anywhere near the finale. But those are my thoughts, and this marks the end of the review. If you have any comments, then feel free to leave them below in the comment section, and I'll be sure to reply to everybody. Until next time, stay tuned and stay safe. Peace.